Let's get one thing straight right out of the gate. Cooper Flagg isn't walking through the doors of TD Garden in a Celtics uniform anytime soon, at least not via the 2025 NBA Draft. But the mere fact that the Boston Celtics used their valuable interview slots at the NBA Scouting Combine to sit down with Flagg, Texas star guard Trey Johnson, and Georgia forward Asa Newell offers a fascinating window into the franchise's mindset as they approach the draft. At this year's Combine in Chicago, Celtics brass didn't just stay in their projected lane. Instead, they aimed high, perhaps ridiculously high, scheduling interviews with top-tier prospects who are almost certainly out of their range. According to Yahoo Sports' Kevin O'Connor, Boston's contingent made time for Flagg, the projected number, one overall pick and the crown jewel of this year's class. They also met with Johnson, widely expected to be taken in the top 5, and Newell, a talented big man likely to go in the late lottery or mid-first round. On NBC Sports Boston's Arbella Early Edition, O'Connor elaborated on why the Celtics would burn an interview on a player like Flagg when they currently hold the number 1 spot, 28, and number 32 picks. You rank the guys you want to talk to, O'Connor explained. The Combine gives teams a chance to interview up to 13 players, and the ones who rank those players the highest are typically granted access. So yeah, maybe Boston had Flagg ranked 2nd or 3rd overall. That doesn't mean they're trading up for him, but it does mean they're doing their due diligence. In other words, the Celtics are playing the long game here. Talking to a player like Flagg doesn't necessarily signal an impending blockbuster trade. It signals that the organization is gathering long-term intel, building relationships, and doing the kind of background work that championship franchises pride themselves on. It's also a hedge against the unpredictable chaos of draft night. Brad Stevens, Boston's president of basketball operations and the architect behind the Celtics' recent sustained success, downplayed the Flagg interview when speaking to reporters earlier this week. According to Stevens, it's standard operating procedure to interview elite prospects who likely won't make it to Boston for individual workouts. Still, it's hard to ignore the possibilities the Celtics may be considering. While a massive leap from pick number 28 to the top 5 would cost Boston a treasure trove of assets, likely more than Stevens is willing to part with, a more modest jump into the mid-first round is far more plausible, especially if there's a target in that range who fits the Celtics' future. Enter Asa Newell. At 6 feet 10 inches and 225 pounds, Newell checks a lot of boxes for Boston. He's an explosive athlete with a smooth offensive game and defensive versatility. During his freshman year at Georgia, he averaged 15.4 points, 6.9 rebounds, and 1.0 block per game. He's not just a highlight reel waiting to happen. He's a legitimate, well-rounded prospect with the potential to contribute early and grow into a meaningful piece of a contender's core. And Boston's front court? Well, it's full of question marks. Al Horford is aging and heading into free agency. Luke Kornet is also unsigned beyond this summer. Kristaps Porzingis has been in and out of the lineup due to injuries and could even be dangled in trade talks. The Celtics need young, cost-controlled size, and Newell could be that answer. Of course, the Celtics are no strangers to striking gold late in the first round. They found Robert Williams III at number 27 in 2018 and Peyton Pritchard at number 26 in 2020, both of whom became key rotational players. But the 2025 offseason brings new challenges, particularly the looming specter of the NBA's second tax apron. To avoid draconian luxury tax penalties, Boston may be forced to shed salary and rely more heavily on cheap rookie contracts. That makes this draft especially critical. Every move, every interview, every potential trade-up matters a bit more than usual. So while the idea of Cooper Flagg donning green and white next season feels like a fantasy, the Celtics' approach reveals something deeper about how they operate. They're doing their homework, they're scanning the board, and they're preparing for any scenario, even the unlikely ones. It's classic Brad Stevens, strategic, measured, and quietly ambitious. The Celtics may not be positioned to win the 2025 draft, but don't be surprised if they walk away with a piece that helps them win something even more important, a championship.